now have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
I'm Ben, as always I'm joined by Mike.
Hi.
Well, Gaz isn't here tonight, we replaced him with a statue made of melting ice. He is here, really.
Hey. I wasn't sure how long I should pretend to be a block of ice for.
So actually you're our resident climate change denier.
You might have to explain that, because somebody's listening to this in like next year or something, they'll be like, they what?
Oh yeah, well last night was a big climate change debate in the electoral campaign in the UK for the general election. Boris Johnson, our PM, and Nigel Farage, who I think Gaz associates with more.
What?
Didn't show up basically because Boris doesn't care because he's being funded by the big fossil fuel companies, and Nigel Farage doesn't believe it, it's a Chinese scam.
They knew they'd get annihilated.
So
that's why they didn't go.
So whose decision was it to put a block of ice? The Channel 4?
Yeah.
Channel 4's, yeah.
That's quite clever.
Yeah.
And now the Tories are saying that should they get back in, they might revoke Channel 4's licence to broadcast.
Because they're trying to bully them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a little bit about that on Twitter today. What a world we live in.
Yeah.
No democracy. Imagine that, just taking away Channel 4's licence.
Yeah.
Cunts.
Replacing it with something run by the Daily Mail, probably.
Tory TV.
Tory TV.
Oh my god.
It's like Tots TV with more cocaine.
Oh, we're free to do as they tell us. So, should we explain what we're doing and why we're here?
Yes, today we're going to talk about cannibalism in its many and varied forms, and some fucked up facts about it, and some of the most famous cannibals throughout history. But first, we will thank some new and returning listeners. So, Singapore. Wow, we got some in Iran. Wow, Estefan, well, in Iran. Wow, welcome to you. You're taking your life in your own hands, buddy. Denver, Colorado, New York, Westminster, Delhi in India, Saskatoon in Canada, Yeovil, United Kingdom, lots and lots of American listeners. Elkridge, where's MD? That's a new one. Maryland. Mountain View, California, that's new. Richmond, Australia. Grand Rapids, Missouri. Michigan, close, sorry. Philip, I don't know where SD is. San Diego? No. SD?
South Dakota.
Jesus Christ.
My knowledge of American geography is not good. Shady Nasty, you dropped a third. Pick yourselves up. Benton, Arkansas. That's a new one. Griffin, GA, Georgia?
Yep.
Knew that one from The Walking Dead. Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
Flint, Michigan. Where were you?
I'm not going to make the lead in the water joke. We'll move on.
I wasn't going to, I was just asking whether...
No, I was thinking about doing it, but
Oh, right.
I thought, no,
Fair enough. But probably because you've made that joke too many times,
Yeah.
that's why they stopped listening.
that's it.
Alright.
Oh, look, listen now. There's lead in the water.
No, because you mocked them for it
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Well, look, listening now, so I can make the joke.
Fair enough, I suppose, yeah. Unless they come back for this
They
episode.
all died.
Well, we were all
Because of the
thinking it.
poisoning in the water.
R.I.P.D. Flint, Michigan.
Shit happens. Moving on.
It does.
No, sorry.
We start the show with some weird news. It'll take 20 minutes, half an hour, then we'll cut on to the main thrust of today's topic.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
What have we got first, Mike? Russian cows get virtual reality glasses to help them ward off the winter blues. We are creating a cow matrix.
Oh my god.
Literally, this is the matrix for cows. Around this time of year, life in Russia swings from one extreme to the other.
Even the
Sunshine
fucking
to
cows are
snow,
depressed.
green to grey, apricots to atrophied apples. The adjustment can cause emotional strain and illness in the best of us, but it's not only apparently the humans who suffer. According to veterinary experts, the country's 20 million strong bovine population is particularly susceptible to a bout of the winter blues. Luckily, scientists now believe there's a solution to their Russian winter problem in the form of virtual reality glasses. The exact design of the prototype kit is top secret, but some details have already leaked. According to local media, the wraparound glasses boast a unique form that has been adapted to the cow's anatomical structure.
You could probably feed half of the African continent for the money it costs to put virtual reality goggles on 20 million cows, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh well, you could go vegan.
They draw on experimental data that shows cows are better at processing red than they are blues and greens. As a result, the movie show reels tend to focus on grass, the lovely green summer meadowy sort. A farm in northwest Moscow has already been testing the prototypes with positive results. Happy cow, more milk.
But they can see grass that isn't really there and they go to try and eat it. Won't that just make them even more depressed? And like mentally insane. I can see him, I can't do it.
And plus, we'd bump into the other cows because they wouldn't know where they were.
What the fuck was that?
I'm blind. It's literally blinded the cows.
Unless they just keep them in the
They
stall.
just stampede 20 million cows, just fucking start trampling their way through Russia. They mobilise as one.
They form into one super herd
Wow.
and do what Napoleon and the Nazis failed to do, take Moscow.
Wouldn't it be better to just say, "Oi, Daisy, suck it up."
It's only for 6
Right?
months.
Yeah, we're all fucking cold. We're all miserable. We're Russian. Vodka, surely vodka would help.
There's a picture of the cow with the glasses
Oh,
on.
fucking hell. That looks expensive as fuck. 20 million cows.
But they're getting more milk out of them because they're happier.
Fuck.
It's the
Well,
Matrix for cows.
Yeah, it is.
We're literally milking them while keeping them just happy by showing them images of something that isn't
Seems
there.
horrifically
If this
wrong,
isn't
doesn't
if
it?
this isn't a metaphor for our fucking lives, I
you
don't know
think-
what is.
Don't you think cows should be able to enjoy the natural, is it called the circadian rhythms of your body that go with the seasons?
Completely.
And, you know,
They should be.
maybe it's natural that they don't produce as just much milk during winter. Let them live and let live.
Let them at
It's
least see the
intensive
real
farming,
world.
isn't it? Because of capitalism demands.
Because they're just
Oh my
milk
God,
producing.
What if one of the cows one day gets its visor off, becomes like the Morpheus of the other cows, starts freeing certain cows, and all of a sudden you've got the one cow,
Yeah. And he leads them all
he
up.
leads them all off.
Cowpocalypse.
Cowpocalypse, that's what you've got.
But
It's a
they're pretty-
terrible idea.
They're pretty fucking dumb, so you'll probably lead them off a cliff.
Yeah, probably, but it's like there's a cow called Morpheus freeing the cows of their virtual enslavement.
Wait. Morpheus.
Morpheus! Oh! I think that's a king.
That's a crown.
Gaz gets a
Yeah,
crown
that
for
is.
that.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
The king. Well, yeah.
No, so you brushed off my cowpocalypse. I mean,
Oh, sorry.
I didn't get anything.
Well, you've already got the crown.
Well, no, yeah,
Well,
but
Morpheus was better.
it was good. It was good.
I liked Cowpocalypse,
Yeah.
but Morpheus.
Morpheus was good.
Yeah.
Morpheus.
The Mootrix.
The Matrix. Oh, I think he's way back.
No, he hasn't. There's not even O in Matrix. But there is in Morpheus.
I suppose so. I do like the Mootrix though, that is good.
Moving on.
Moving on, next piece of article please.
Police have arrested Toronto's alleged serial shitter.
Wow.
Fucking hell, it's against
This is horrific actually.
Samuel Opoku, 23, is accused of dumping buckets of liquefied
Yeah.
fecal matter
I did
on
hear
5
about
people.
One of them was a UK tourist, wasn't it?
Oh, you don't want that.
Well, they've arrested him and charged him with 5 counts of assault with a weapon and 5 counts of mischief, interfere with property. What that means.
Yeah. It looks French.
Opoku will appear in court Wednesday. He's accused of dumping buckets of liquid fecal matter on 5 unsuspecting people. The first incident took place November 22nd when a Poku allegedly entered the University of Toronto's John P. Robarts Research Library and poured a bucket of crap on a man and a woman.
Oh.
And you know on that?
No.
An eyewitness told City News a concentrated feces-like smell overpowered the room. What do you expect?
Yeah, buckets of
Bucket of shit.
So that's a feces-like smell. I know I'm covered in shit.
This is the kind of journalists we need. What did it smell like?
It smelled like shit, eh? He threw a bucket of shit.
Fucking hell. And he carried out a similar malodorous assault. Malodorous?
Yeah.
Dumping feces on a woman and man at York's University Scott Library. Security photos from York show a Poku smiling as he carries what appears to be a bucket.
Why is he doing it at university libraries? Why is he doing it at libraries? Full stop.
Toronto police spokesman Victor Kwong previously told Vice that the victims were disgusted.
I'm surprised.
He said forensics teams are analysing the contents of one of the buckets to determine if it does contain feces.
It's gonna be quite. Well, okay, whatever.
I thought they were going to see if they can find the culprit. DNA.
That would be with it, yeah.
The mayor, John Tory,
Ooh, don't like him.
said the arrest brought relief for the whole city.
Well, yeah, it would.
Fuck, mate. It's like a really shit episode of, oh, no pun intended, of Batman or something, isn't it?
I think Law and Order, to be honest.
Wow.
I like how he's got a bit of a disguise on though. In one he's got a hard hat on, the other he's got a woolly hat on.
He's thought about this.
He's thought about it.
He thinks he's Hannibal from the 18.
He does. I'm going to dress as a construction worker for this one.
I love it when a shack comes together.
Do you reckon it's fresh?
Well,
Do you reckon?
how much liquid shit can one man produce? He must be shit at creating this concoction somehow. Or maybe he goes to maybe he works at
The empty
people's
septic
own.
tanks?
yeah, or something like that. He works in the industry. He's got a bit of a kink for it. Fills up his bucket at work.
Yeah. What do you mean a bucket, nothing?
So what's worse than a bucket of one man's shit? A bucket of like hundreds of people's shit.
Yeah.
Should we do the next one?
But imagine like that. It's quite horrific not knowing if you're going to go into town and being covered in shit.
You won't get
There's
that
a
from
cereal-
out from under your fingernails.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd never be clean.
You'd shave your head.
You'd never
If
be
you had
clean.
like long hair and it went in your hair, you'd shave your head.
You'd never be clean.
Nah.
You'd never feel 100% clean again. This is why we need Batman.
I found a bottle of liquid shit in the woods.
How did they get it in the bottle?
Remember?
No.
We did when we were kids. It was like found a little bottle. It was like liquid shit. It was just in
Did
the
you
woods.
open it?
Yeah.
It stank of shit. You drink it.
No, it stank of shit.
I don't remember this. I must not have been there.
How did a man get the shit in the
No idea.
Unless he shat through a funnel.
No idea.
Unless he pushed the top of the 2 litre Coke bottle up there.
Oh,
Could have done.
a shit gave himself a shit enema.
Yeah.
But listen, so it must have been plastered down the outside of the bottle. You shouldn't
No,
have picked it
it wasn't.
up. Or he's wiped it in the grass then.
It was just a bottle of liquid shit in the woods. I don't know. Things you find when you're kids.
Wow. I mean, I found things, like, but I never found a 2 litre bottle of liquid shit.
That was about 500 millilitre.
Oh, so...
It's gone down now. It was 2 litres a minute ago.
Did I say 2 litre?
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't remember
I meant
what he
half a
said.
litre.
But I'm just... There must have been a funnel involved.
I think there's the bottle top up.
No idea, mate.
Well, on that bombshell, next article.
I've
There's
got
no
my
answer to the story, I'm afraid. I know.
I've got my
Leaving
next...
you
My next subject is...
on
I'm just-
tenterhooks, but...
Listen, my next subject I'm picking is Mike, and I'm just going to interview you for an hour about what happened in the woods.
Well, we don't want to get out there, it's very dark.
We used to have flashes in the woods, didn't we?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there was that one-eyed paedophile.
Fucking hell!
Do you remember the one-eyed paedophile in the woods?
Yeah.
Literally, our parents used to warn us not to go in the woods on our own because there's a one-eyed paedophile living in the woods.
Yeah.
Living in the woods.
Yeah.
And one day we did find like an old mattress and a sleeping bag and
Yeah.
some cooking equipment by a campfire in the woods, deep in the woods. One-eyed Willie, wasn't
Is
it?
that before or after he wanked you
called
up?
him.
I don't
I
know.
think we called him One-eyed Willie after the Goonies.
You wouldn't want him messing with your one-eyed Willie, though, would you?
We did used to have flashes because there was going to be like a warning. Because people used to walk their dogs around the woods.
I don't remember the flashes.
And they'd be like, apparently there's some dude at large who was like just running around in a coat exposing himself.
Probably the one-eyed paedophile, I imagine.
Well, possibly.
Well, I just think it's strange that you can't remember the bottle of shit, Mike can't remember the flasher.
Well,
What's wrong with you
There
guys?
was a group of about sort of like six of us, something like that. He's hang about not all at the same time.
Did you all get molested?
I don't remember it.
Well, the brain does have a habit of blocking these very traumatic events out, Ben, which can then lead to sort of unprocessed sort of rage and things, and yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not rageful at all.
No. Well, did you see? Leona was very amused with herself. The random T-shirt thing, and I ended up with the you've seen it with the unicorn.
Yeah.
So I should explain. My missus signed up for something where they send you a random T-shirt. You don't know what you're going to get, a grab bag. And she was showing me after the fact that on the site there's lots of fairly cool, cute little designs, like quite funny ones. And I was like, yeah, but you could choose to buy those nice ones. I was like, if you sign up for the grab bag, they're not going to send you out the best sellers, are they? It's going to be the shit that nobody ever fucking buys.
Yeah.
My missus opened hers up, it said, crafting is awesome. It's like something that a 70-year-old gran would wear or something. So I was like, well, what the fuck does mine say? And then she unfolds it. It's a bright blue T-shirt with a unicorn jumping over a fucking rainbow, and it says anything is possible. And she said it's even funnier because I'm such a miserable cunt. And I don't think anything is possible. But yeah, it's my new favourite T-shirt.
I like it already, mate.
You know, I said, what did you expect? Fucking hell. Anyway. Oh shit, let's do another news story then.
Last one.
We'll move on to cannibals because we have rambled. Oh dear, it's me. There's a good chance your tin of coffee contains ground up cockroaches.
Would you want drink coffee?
I love coffee.
Do you?
I drink it by the
I
pint.
stand it.
I don't drink
let
hot
me
drinks
for
at all. I don't drink tea
I'm
or
a
coffee.
tea man.
It's work fuel. It's work fuel.
Well,
I do
managed
appreciate
for,
a tea.
I
now
managed
and
for 19 years that coffee.
Ah, man. Once, well, I didn't drink it growing up. I was always a tea man. We didn't have it in the house growing up. Well, no. Tell a lie, we did because my mum drank it.
My mum drank coffee, my dad drank tea, but...
Because she always drank black coffee though, I never was ever tempted by it. I was like, fuck that, it stinks. But then, the girl that I was engaged to, she was not a chef, a cook. So she would make like cappuccino on the stove, like proper milk. So like, it's mostly milk with some quite strong coffee in the top, and it's froth and it's foam, and I was like, fuck, it's amazing. And then I started making my own and realising you can make like what I call mental strength.
Right.
It's basically liquid speed. It tastes like shit, but you can get your fucking heart rate up. And the only thing is, I'm a total addict now. So I get caffeine headaches if I haven't had my caffeine.
You just dropped the class A's for caffeine, haven't you?
Not headaches from lack of caffeine. I mean, from too much caffeine. Headaches from no caffeine.
Caffeine doesn't bring you up. It brings you back to normal level. When you get addicted to it.
I don't know. It's a lot of it's psychological as well, because it's like, well, can't get going in the morning without my cigarette and my I'm a waker and baker. Obviously not when I'm at work, man.
Obviously, I wasn't going to suggest.
Because
The
of
very suggestion of that.
Because of what I do for a living, you know, even though tests have proven, clinical tests, that people do drive safer under the influence of certain herbal intakers.
Well,
You
you've
slow
had that
down,
many
man.
accidents.
You slow down, you tend to focus a bit more.
True.
You're also shit scared of getting pulled over.
How many accidents have you had?
In my life?
Yeah.
1.
That's when you nearly killed that kid.
No, I wasn't counting that one.
Oh, right.
I didn't nearly kill him. His ankle got broke, and he probably had quite a swollen face. Totally his own fault for the listener if this is your first episode. Ben is slandering me.
That's what I usually do, that's my thing.
It was all on camera and I was found completely innocent of all wrongdoing as a child. Ran out in front of me like a silly little prick. I drove at somebody's arse once because I was fiddling with the radio. That's about it.
Yeah.
Over 10 years professional service.
Not bad.
What the fuck are we talking about that for? Anyway.
Coffee.
Oh yeah. I'm quite high. Some people can't start the day without a coffee. I'm one of them. A lot of people might change their coffee habit for good after this. For most of us who can't afford a coffee shop like Monster Machine to use whole beans, we often reach for big tins and jars of pre-ground beans to keep going for a couple of weeks at least. A few people oddly develop an allergic reaction to this widely consumed type of coffee. Sucks for them, but innocent enough, right? Wrong.
Disgusting.
The reason they start to experience this allergy will make your skin crawl. That's because if you're drinking coffee made from pre-ground beans, there's also a pretty high chance you're swinging down ground-up cockroaches. University of Montana biology professor Douglas Emlin first split the beans on the gross finding in a 2009 interview about his research into dung beetles, as reported by news.com.au. Dr. Emlin described how, as a student, he drove across the country with his professor, who was, quote, fiercely addicted to caffeine, and often made them drive up to 45 minutes off route to find somewhere that served whole bean fresh ground coffee. I remember giving him a really hard time because we were wasting a lot of travel time trying to feed his addiction because he needed a coffee every couple of hours, said Dr. Emlin. And he finally explained to me he had to drink only whole bean fresh ground coffee, and it was because of cockroaches. After years of teaching entomology, the study of insects and their relationships with humans, the professor became badly allergic to cockroaches from handling them so often. Oh, silly fool. He shouldn't touch a cockroach without he couldn't touch a cockroach without getting a reaction, and suffered similarly when he drank coffee from pre-ground beans. When the professor looked into it, he found pre-ground coffee is all processed from huge stockpiles which get infested with cockroaches. He explained that little can be done to filter out the creatures, so they all get ground up along with the beans. Feeling ill yet? Here's a little more. Dr. Emlin said at the time US defect standards allowed coffee beans to contain as much as 10%, quote, insect filth and insects.
Insect shit, basically.
Oh yeah. Then he dropped the bombshell that chocolate, with the huge piles of cocoa beans, suffers a very similar fate.
Shit. I ate a lot of chocolate.
Well, unlike this fucking pervert fucking doctor who couldn't stop putting cockroaches up his bum every day in the laboratory, it doesn't fucking make me allergic because I don't handle cockroaches, so guess what? I don't care. Fucking science.
But I'd like to see what the UK standards are, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot less.
It would be, yeah, the US.
You'd like to think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But
Well,
they
we
have the
go-
same disdain for
At the
us.
moment we go along with the EU, so I'd imagine... I think it's still something like 3%.
It's almost like the EU's a good thing to be a part of, isn't it? Because if we leave it and we're not under that rule anymore, people could just start shipping American coffee, which is full of fucking cockroach shit in here, can't
Oh,
they?
yeah. And the companies in this country can start making food with less care,
Yeah.
and he's going to get a nice pork pie, You know, it's meant
Hermetically sealed.
There has to be proper pork or of some description pork.
Look for the red tractor.
It's just the arseholes and eyeballs instead.
Oh yeah.
Ground up into a processed gruel that's
Stop
solid.
it! You're making me want a Greg's.
Pedo rolls.
No. What?
Yeah, the guy who was going to own Greg's was a pedo, wasn't he? He's been done for
It's
it.
not the sausage rolls his fault.
No,
is
I
it,
know,
you
but he's still
fucking
funding his
pervert?
defence. I haven't been to Greg's for ages then.
Stop it!
Didn't
Oh,
we find out that
out
all
of
Greg?
principle.
No, because they just thought 99p cheeseburgers better from
I was
McDonald's.
gonna
Did we
say.
find out that if you mapped out the Greg sausage rolls, it was an upside down cross?
Yeah, and a pentagram.
Yeah.
It's not the sausage rolls' fault.
No.
I stand by my argument. I'm going to spend £666
In
Greggs
Greggs.
tomorrow.
My God, you'll feed the family for fucking 10 years on that.
Just going to hand it out to people in the street to try and cause some kind of demonic incident.
Ooh, I like it. Can I get involved with this?
If you got £666.
Nah, I can give you a £6.66 if that helps.
Ooh, that still works. We'll spend £6.66
Yeah.
on sausage rolls, and we'll stand. Oh, we need a fourth person. I'll get the missus to come. We'll stand in a pentagram
We need
position.
5 people for that.
Okay, we'll bring the kids. We'll get in a pentagram position around the Telford Town Centre
Yeah.
and hand out these £6.66 worth of Greggs sausage rolls and see if we can open some sort of portal to hell.
We won't be there very long, will we? It's about 10 sausage rolls in it.
They're about 85p each.
It might be about 6 sausage
I think you can buy 2 for like. I think you can buy 2 for £1.60.
It's definitely the £666 would definitely be more
Yeah, it would be.
more likely to open a portal, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we might get a demon's fart or something. Oh, such a tantalising taste. We'll make a documentary. Is Greggs, in fact, an undercover satanic? Are they the police? Are they the gatekeepers of the satanic underworld?
They're the gatekeepers of hell.
Yeah, well, think about it. They're positioned in the Greggs restaurants. Maybe you gain access. Maybe the portals are under the Greggs restaurant.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You go there after hours. They all shut fairly early. None of them are open like 24
They
hours.
should be though.
Well, tune in next week to find out. Did we open a portal?
Yes. Right, so let's move on to cannibalism, which is the act of consuming another individual of the same species as food. Cannibalism is a common ecological interaction in the animal kingdom and has been recorded in more than 1,500 species, including the cool ones where praying mantis females will mate with a male, then kill them and eat them, same as certain spiders.
I've told the story on the pod before, but I've fed chicken to chickens.
Yeah.
They will, I can confirm, definitely. And not only eat it, go mental for it.
Wow.
Rabid, fight each other over it. We were quite shocked.
Was it one of those chickens, or was it a
No.
chicken struggle?
It's, my friend has chickens, like several, like a flock. I don't know if that's what several chickens are called. So as pets, you know, out in the garden, and we're having a barbecue, and just as stoners do, just like, I wonder what would happen if you gave chicken to the chickens. And he's like, I don't know, give them one. So I just threw a chicken leg over to where they were all pecking away, and they were like, fucking hell! And they just started absolutely fucking gouging it down. We were like, whoa!
Have you
sick.
heard from him since?
Fuck. He's one of my best friends.
Oh, so he hasn't been killed by a horde of carnivorous chickens then?
No.
They give chicken teeth, haven't they?
Yeah, they are. I saw that.
What?
Because they used to be dinosaurs, there's like a regressive gene, and it needs to be activated at a certain point. It's turned off in chickens, which gives them teeth.
Oh lord.
So these scientists turn them on to give them teeth. So there's
I
chickens.
bet they
with
look horrific,
teeth.
don't they?
I didn't see a photo
I
of
bet they
them.
look terrifying. And also, I can confirm, real world experience. I was once quite stoned in an alleyway, having a joint behind a garage, and there was a spider on the wall, and it was medium sized, so I wasn't too scared of it. And I was counting its legs, and it had two too many. I was like, huh? How high am I? And I got closer and looked at it, and it had like the last bits of another spider coming out of its mouth, I guess.
Yeah.
It was like it had consumed another spider all the way down to the last, and like the front end of another spider.
Wow.
And it's
Of
like,
course.
Nature's cruel.
Of course, we fed cows to cows.
oh yeah.
Well, not us personally,
Didn't
but
people die because of it?
yeah.
Like cozies.
That's what it was caused by.
I still think the French don't buy beef, do they?
They're a bit reluctant to. I think they do nowadays. Human cannibalism is well documented, both in ancient and in recent times. Yeah, it is pretty taboo, isn't it? Cannibalism. You know, it is taboo.
Because it involves access to a body that you can butcher.
You know, it does also make you sick.
Good.
Can do.
Can do.
Only if you eat the brain.
Oh yes. Specifically, eating the brain of a human being can cause kuru, a brain disease that's similar to mad cow disease. Kuru occurs because our brains contain prions that transmit the disease. Symptoms begin with trembling and ends with death. However, it's not always the case, as Mike said. The 4 people, Papua New Guinea, are known for cannibalism, and up until the late 1950s, ate the bodies of relatives in not order to cleanse their own spirits, but to keep the relatives of their dead ancestors close to them.
I don't know who's you, so I'm gonna fucking imagine butchering. Butchering is horrible. No, that's why I'm a typical Western hypocrite who just wants to eat his meat without paying any attention to how it gets there. Like, but even once it's dead, like the process of skinning it and carving it, doing that to a loved one.
Yeah.
It may have come through as a tradition because food was so scarce, and they had no other choice.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Let's eat skanky grandad John.
And then they just put it as like a spiritual thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but your granddad would be probably about 35. That's probably the life expectancy.
Thousands of them did contract kuru and died. Actually, kuru comes from the Fiore word for shaking. It's actually named the disease because they were so up on people eating people's brains. But not all of them fell victim to it. Over the last 200 years, some Fiore people developed a genetic mutation that protects them from the prions that transmits kuru. So there's another member of the X-Men team. I can eat your brain and not get sick.
Motherfuckers. I suppose nobody went in there and said, just stop eating your dead relatives. They wouldn't know that's what it was coming from, would they? The shaking Stevens.
No, but they'd also be like, well, fuck you, it's our tradition, we do this. It keeps our loved ones close to us.
But nature helped them out. Nature threw them a bone.
Yeah.
Evolution. Or is it God, Mike?
Well, who can say? Probably evolution, though, isn't it?
Or Vishnu, or one of them.
So the term cannibalism itself comes from the name the Spanish gave to the Caribs, the people who live in the Caribbean.
Okay.
Which in Spanish is cannibales, I think. According to the article I took this research from anyway, we have Spanish listeners, they'll probably correct me. The Spanish accused the Caribbean tribe of ritualistically eating their enemies. But modern day scholars have doubts that this happened, although because the Caribs were engaged in a sort of anti-colonial war with a host of European powers, might be the case that it was a bit of a propaganda thing.
Yeah. More than likely.
But on the other hand, we do have some evidence the Caribs use body parts as trophies. No different from the hunter sticking a stag's head on his wall, though, is it really?
Or what's his face in Universal Soldier?
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren's character. I'm all ears.
Yeah, the tribes in Peru that have the shrunken heads.
Yeah.
Very similar.
I don't know. Some cannibalistic rituals could be quite complex. As my favourite one I found was from the Tupi people in Brazil in the 1500s, and they lived with their captives for months while they were eating. They sang to one another.
I'm gonna eat your ass.
Basically the captors would taunt them by entertain with threats of their coming death.
Oh, how fucking horrific!
But the guys who were gonna be eaten would respond with it was quoted in one of the guy who lived with these people wrote this down. I don't know how the tune, so I'm just going to read it. You should all come boldly and gather to dine off me, for you'll be eating your own fathers and grandfathers who have served to nourish this body. These muscles, this flesh, and these veins are your own, poor fools that you are. And because it was a tradition to eat captured members of the tribe, it was like, it's an economy of flesh. It's like, alright, you're eating me, but I probably ate one of your relatives. So, alright, you're eating me, but one of my family is going to eat you.
I'd still just rather not be eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we don't practice this in the West.
Well, we have done in the past.
Yeah.
But we'll do some 9 places across the world where cannibalism is still alive and well. Papua New Guinea, which you mentioned earlier. The Nahi Caves in Sigatakata in Fiji. Cannibal Island, wow. Wasn't that a movie? Fiji's fame for its long-running history of cannibalism is even previously dubbed Cannibal Island. The practice had almost died out in recent years with the exception of the Nahi Caves, home to the last human-eating group on the island.
Fiji, that's where
You don't want to go spelunking round there, do you?
You do not.
That's where Lister wants to go, isn't it?
Yeah, Fiji.
Yeah,
You can have a
Fiji.
farm on Fiji. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a cow and a sheep and breed horses.
What, with a cow and a sheep?
You-
No, with horses and horses.
Plus, isn't Fiji like 3 feet underwater?
Yeah, you'll have to get the wet look knitwear. Oh, voice from the dwarf.
Yeah.
Copyright Red Dwarf.
The Ganges River in India.
What?
Yeah, Agori monks live only on the cremated remains of others.
Well, they are gory, aren't they?
The Agori, a sect of Indian monks, perform cannibalistic rituals in order to gain spiritual enlightenment.
Who are they eating?
Anyone that fucking gets burnt going down the river, which is a lot of people, they love that shit.
They do, yeah.
Now with just 20 or so members, the group drink from human skull bowls and cover their body in burnt human remains.
Metal.
They do. It is pretty fucking metal, isn't it? They do not however kill anyone for use in the ceremonies, using only the bodies of people who have already actually died.
Oh, why does it have like, you know, died of like cancer, like cancerous tumours all over their
Oh,
body and stuff?
oh,
I've
they're
never known
burned.
that, yeah.
But what if you're looking, you've never found the body of your loved one, you don't know if they're dead or alive, and you'll be looking for them forever. One of them's wearing her as a fucking backpack or something. You know what I mean?
He's using his testicles as a coin purse.
Well, I didn't kill her. Well, it doesn't fucking matter, mate. You still skinned her.
I understand Gaz's reference, but you said testicles into a fucking skin purse.
A coin purse.
Coin purse. You're going to recognise your granddad's testicles.
His wife might come along and notice.
I know them testicles anywhere. Those are my granddad's testicles.
You heathen. Well, thing is, you wouldn't know for sure.
Why
but
do you
the
want
doubt
a
would always be
clean
in your-
person?
The doubt would always be in your mind. Is that my granddad's balls you've got there, mate? You wouldn't know, would you?
Oh no, I wouldn't know my granddad's balls, but apparently you would.
I don't know them for sure.
It has been a few years since I licked them last.
Well,
I was teabagged by Papa. Sorry. Ben's granddad didn't teabag him. No.
no, but a priest has at some point. I don't know. I don't know. Just go
Back to the gory monks.
Hey, you found my granddad's balls, you bastard.
The Democratic Republic of Congo.
It's
Oh,
not
this is
very
just so
democratic if people get fucking eaten, is it? Unless they voted to fucking eat people.
And they may have done.
Those in favour say aye. Aye, fucking aye. Tasty as fuck. Although, I couldn't work out why we're all very, very shaky. Did Michael J. Fox eat people?
Maybe.
No, I shouldn't have made that joke.
Probably not.
Leave it in.
But you don't know. Go on.
Mobutu pygmies accused Congolese rebels of eating their people alive.
Yeah, I know about this. Sorry, please continue.
At a United Nations meeting in 2003, a distressed Simfazi Makalo, a representative of the Mbuti pygmies, claimed that Congolese rebels from the Ituri province were eating his people alive.
Yeah, the only reason I know about this is because there's a guy, an MMA fighter called Justin Wren, and he's got a
He's
charity.
a pygmy.
No, he's got a charity called Fight for the Forgotten, and I've got no fucking idea how this American found out about this, but he's like raised millions, has been over there, building wells for them because they've found they've designated like neutral ground, or they bought it or something where these people can go and live in peace, like these pygmy people, because they were literally being just taken and eaten.
Wow.
Right, and he's built wells and shit and all that, but he's come back. He's had like every disease you could think of, malaria, all the like brain
Wow,
bugs
fucking
and
hell.
shit, and didn't realise he had it, but then someone diagnosed him PTSD because he's been fired at with automatic weaponry.
Fucking
He's
hell.
held infant pygmies who've died in his arms. He's a fucking hell of a guy, and he's a cage fighter.
Does he still fight?
I don't know if he's well enough at the moment. He was on Joe Rogan a couple of weeks ago. He's fucking amazing, and he looks like he's got a big beard and long hair. He's just an awesome dude, man. But yeah, that's his charity, Fight for the Forgotten, and it's to help these pygmy people. So yeah, there's a public service announcement for you, I guess. Next.
Cambodia.
Pretty dark, isn't it? Sorry, like stealing little miniature people just because you're like, you're not real people, we'll eat you. But we are people. Just little. Fucking hell.
It's horrific, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is pretty horrific too. Cambodian soldiers are thought to have cut the heart and liver from their enemies' bodies. Cambodian soldiers fighting in the Khmer Rouge rebellion were accused of cutting out the hearts and livers of the bodies of the Khmer Rouge soldiers who were killed in battle in order to eat them on the field or back home for dinner.
Look, kids.
Got a heart and liver tonight, kids?
Yeah, pretty metal as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
Ripping out your opponent's heart and taking a big bite out of it raw.
Yeah.
And spitting it. You know like how Triple H spits the water out?
Yeah.
But you do that with blood.
Yeah.
Battle over.
Yeah. That's their general too, is you just... Yeah. That's metal as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Next one is Nuku Hiva in the French Polynesia. It's believed that German tourist Stefan Ramin was chopped up before being eaten. In 2011, German tourist Stefan Ramin went missing while on a traditional goat hunt in Nuku Hiva, French Polynesia. His remains were later found near a campfire, and it is believed that he was hacked to pieces and burned by a tribe suspected of cannibalism.
Probably hacked to pieces alive.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, it's such a horrific nightmare.
Yeah, it's not good. Liberia. Doctors Without Borders found evidence of cannibalistic practices while in Liberia. Following the First Liberian Civil War, Doctors Without Borders found evidence of cannibalistic practices which they sent over to Amnesty International. Rather than being investigated, the evidence was covered up, with Liberia's current Secretary General saying, "What they do with the bodies after human rights violations are committed is not part of our mandate or concern."
Well, probably should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Rothenburg, Germany.
What the fuck?
Germany's answer to Hannibal Lecter, Armin Meiwes, fulfilled his dream of consuming human flesh by placing an ad for a willing volunteer. Luckily for him, he tracked down dinner in the form of a willing 43-year-old Bernd Brandes. The duo dined on Bernd's genitals before Armin stabbed him with a 12-inch knife. He was later arrested for murder, as cannibalism is not a crime in Germany.
I did hear about that, I think.
I've just had an incredible idea for a horror movie.
Go on.
Nazi cannibal holocaust. Cannibalistic
Nazism's
Nazis.
illegal in Germany, isn't it?
We won't
They've been
release it there.
hibernating in Antarctica.
But they come back as zombies.
Hibernazis.
They're cannibals.
Nazis.
Hibernating Nazis.
That's what they've all been.
Well, don't go to dinner with that bloke.
Yeah.
Don't get your cock out anyway.
We talked about him before, actually, on the show. Remember he put an ad out on the dark web?
Yeah.
Cock eater.
We've got
Cock
one more.
eater. And Miami, Florida. And when this happened, I genuinely thought it was the fucking start of the zombie apocalypse.
The cock eater of Kazakhstan. I don't know why that just sounds good. I know.
Ronald Popper was left severely injured after he was attacked by a cannibal in Miami. A crazed naked man was shot by police in Miami in 2012 as he refused to stop eating his victim's face. Cannibal Rudy Eugene set upon unwitting Ronaldo Poppo on a Florida freeway, leaving him with only one eye and severe facial injuries. You ever seen a picture of this guy?
No, I don't want to see it.
Oh, it was not pretty. I mean, he's down to the fucking skull, man. And he's got one eye left. He's down to the skull. You can see his cheekbones. It's fucking grim. It's grim, Dad. He was on bath salts, that chap. Because the police said, oh yeah, it took us like 8 shots to put him down. Eventually a headshot did. I was like, zombie apocalypse, it's coming.
Well,
and then it was just bath salts.
Well, how lovely. What a nice chap.
Yeah. Right. So, cannibalism as well, in the past, has been used as a medical treatment. In Germany, from the 1600s to the 1800s, executioners often had a bizarre side job to supplement their income, selling leftover body parts as medicine. Wow. Apothecaries regularly stocked fat, flesh and bone. Human fat was sold as a remedy for broken bones, sprains and arthritis. Usually this fat was rubbed on as a balm. There were examples of human skulls being ground into powder and mixed with a liquid to cure epilepsy. It's corpse medicine, it's called. They used to grind up Egyptian mummies too.
Well,
Grind up Egyptian mummies, put it in a liquid, drink it down, that'll cure what ails you. Then they found out that the mummies weren't actually mummies and they were just slaves that were being killed.
didn't we talk about on the show at one point? Well, I know we did something about an old, what's it called, a sarcophagus,
Oh, that one with the juice in it, the mummy juice.
Did I say it right?
Sarcophagus.
Yeah. Full of mummy juice, and they want to drink it.
So they were joking, but yeah.
Shoot them.
I suppose technically that's cannibalism as well.
Yeah.
You're drinking the liquefied remains of a mummy. Which is probably what people did back then anyway.
Put them down like that biatch on London Bridge today.
Double tap to the head.
Shout out to the members of the public who tackled him, to be fair. Pretty brave. Wearing it,
Very brave.
for all they knew, a real bomb.
Yeah.
Stabbing
Absolutely.
people. I suppose that happened today for reference if you're listening. Well, you will be listening in the future. So yeah, there are good people out there.
There are. Just when you've lost hope.
Yeah, it was actually quite. I know it's horrible. There's another fucking incident again, but yeah, it was quite uplifting to see the response of a few members of the public. Brave as fuck.
Yeah. And that man who took the knife and then threw his bag of coke over the bridge.
Yeah, that was definitely a bag of coke. Look it up. I think you'll know his name in the next few days.
Yeah, more than likely.
He's already trending because everyone's like he's a hero because he obviously got hold of the knife somehow.
I think he's a bigger hero for throwing his coke over
Well,
the
that
bridge.
is already trending. That is already it was one of the top. I clicked on Twitter and you click on what's trending right now, and above all the like sort of well done to our police was the bag of coke joke. Was literally the top trending thing in this country. And I saw number 2 trending under London Bridge was James Corden, and I was like, why is he trending underneath London Bridge? Has he said something stupid about it? I clicked on it, and what it was, on like the main news report, there was a policeman in the background who looked exactly like James Corden.
All right.
And British people still in the moment. I like it. We're still taking a piss and having a laugh. Whereas, like, no offence, America, I know this is a slight tangent, but if this happened over there, there'd be all the rallying around the flag,
Thoughts
you know,
and
all
prayers.
that, like, yeah, and all that sort of jingoistic kind of crap. Whereas we're all still. There's a bit of that. I've seen a bit of that on Twitter, but there's still a lot of piss taking still happening and laughing at the whole thing, which. I don't know.
It's a British sense of humour.
Just it, you
So we
can't.
get through it.
Yeah, we're ace.
Just run through some famous cases of cannibalism.
Okay.
Goes back to prehistoric times.
Oh shit.
Of course,
The
with the
100
Neanderthals, isn't it?
Yeah. 100,000-year-old bones of 6 Neanderthals found in a French cave have been broken open in such a way as to extract the marrow and brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are your superiors. We'll suck out your marrow.
I will
suck the marrow from the bones of your dead children, Neanderthal scum.
Basically, we ate and mated them out of existence.
Yeah, pretty much.
We did fuck them though, didn't we? I reckon.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. We've all got about 3%.
They probably had one like
Go down
tied
Dolly
up.
today, mate. I tell you, it's
I
like
bet
70.
middle class cavemen had like a Neanderthal sex slave tied up in the cave cupboard.
Well, Gaz would have been a
Possibly.
fucking Neanderthal. Fuck you. I look down on him. He's a Neanderthal.
Oh, I love it. Love a bit of order, a bit of structure. A ladder to climb. I like it, mate. I don't want anarchy, I don't want chaos. And I don't want some fucking hippie paradise where we've all got the same. Like the
He's
Borg.
mocking your post.
I don't want to be assimilated into the Borg, you
He's
know.
knocking your
have
future luxury
the
communism,
same
Mike.
Communist. Sorry, I'm joking. Reds under the bed. Check everywhere. Red Menace.
That's about Red Dawn. What a movie, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't seen it for
I've never
years,
seen
but
it.
yeah.
I've never seen it.
You never seen Red Dawn? Oh, man. Oh.
Sean Connery, isn't it?
No.
No, what am I thinking?
You're thinking
of?
Hunt for October.
Oh yeah, I am.
Red Dawn's where you got the young Charlie Sheen, young Patrick Swayze,
Don't know if I've seen it then.
The Russians drop into mid-tier America.
What did they do that for?
Because they were invaded. It's the Cubans and the Russians who invaded mainland America.
I know about it, but
And
I've seen it.
the guys who were on the football team in high school, the Wolverines, form a resistance group where their parents get locked up in a
Where are the
concentration
army?
camp. They're fighting.
Right.
They meet up with this downed jet pilot, but they're behind enemy lines, you see.
What fucking year did this come out?
Oh, 1980 something.
Okay. Sounds big budget.
Yeah, it reasonably was, yeah.
Fuck them Ruskies up, boys. Did they have mullets?
They did.
Oh, excellent.
And
They wear tank tops.
Avenge me, son! As well, from the dad in a Russian concentration camp.
How can anyone say that with a straight face?
I don't know, but he did.
Well, apparently I heard a new thing that it will annoy people if you do this, but only a few people know about it, apparently. Real hardcore nerds. If you're watching a movie and they say the title of the movie in the movie, you are supposed to go, woo! And
right.
applaud a little bit.
Yeah, makes sense.
You'll get slapped, possibly, or ejected, but yeah, it happens in films.
Yeah.
They say the title sometimes.
They do, yeah.
Usually earnestly. Anyway, what the fuck,
Yeah.
I'm derailing everything. Cannibals.
Crusaders in 1098, during the siege of Marara, practiced cannibalism. They were the besieged army. They were the ones besieging. And they got really hungry and started killing the locals to feed themselves.
Well, needs must.
Yeah. The Great Famine of Europe, 1315 and 1317, was marked with extreme levels of cannibalism.
Oh no.
This is a great one, actually. This is gory as shit. It's July 21st, 1514. The captured Hungarian rebel leader Gheorghe Dzoka was condemned to sit on a smouldering heated iron throne, forced to wear a heated iron crown and sceptre mocking his ambition to be king. While he was suffering, sitting there smouldering on this iron throne with his head and hand being burned horribly.
Oh god.
They got 9 rebels who were his mates and said, right, we'll make some pliers, heated pliers, plunge them into his flesh, and after tearing his flesh, the remaining rebels were ordered to bite the spots where the hot pliers had been inserted and to swallow the flesh. The 4 that refused were simply cut to pieces, prompting the others to comply. Dozer died in the ordeal, while the rebels who obeyed were released.
Wow.
That's some pretty fucking mental torture though, isn't it? That's some ironic. Do you want to be king? Sit on that smouldering iron throne!
Some Game of Thrones
That
shit.
is
that
some
is.
Game of
When you
Thrones
think
shit.
about stuff like that, it makes you think, you feel ridiculous, you know, when you complain about today, like, it being the end times and like, oh, our life is fucked, we're fucked, everything's fucked. I mean, it is on one level, but on another level, it's alright compared to that, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell. I mean, with the mouth I've got,
You'd have been hung as a witch by then.
oh, they'd have done worse than that to me, wouldn't they? Something fucked up like that to like, you called him a what? You called Sire, the king, called him a what? Yes.
Hang, drawn and quartered.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Red hot spike up the anus. Oh,
Yes.
No.
Good, is it? Oof.
oh well.
They killed a king of England like that, actually, with a red hot spike up the anus, because they couldn't leave a mark on the body.
I imagine that might leave a mark.
Well, no one's checking his arse.
Oh, okay. Well, leave a mark.
They
on
couldn't
the
like
inside.
stab him, they couldn't hang him, so they just got him in the dungeon, red hot poker, up the anus. All the wounds are internal, aren't they?
Just god, that really. I was thinking about the actual what was actually happened to your body as that was happening to you.
Yeah.
Hideous.
Peter Stump, the werewolf of Bedburg, was executed in October 1589. We had him on the werewolf episode,
Ah,
so I put it in.
cool.
Accusations of cannibalism and being a werewolf. 1609 to 1610, colonial Jamestown, Virginia, in the 13 colonies, as it was at the time, now the United States. After food supplies had diminished, some colonists began to dig up corpses for food. During this period, one man was tortured until he confessed to having killed, salted, and eaten his pregnant wife.
Wow.
He was then burned alive.
But under torture, probably bollocks.
Yeah. But people were digging up corpses. Yeah, that ain't good.
No, I mean, not to eat them. If you're going to have sex with them, that's fine, but I mean, eat them.
Alright, Savile, calm down.
Oh, sorry.
1812, following the French invasion of Russia, some of Napoleon's retreating soldiers resorted to cannibalism while facing starvation in a Russian winter.
Well,
The Russians employed a scorched earth policy, so the French had to carry all their supplies, and obviously when it got Russian winter kicked in and all their oxen and stuff started to die, was it eating all that? Got a long way back from Moscow to the edges of the French Empire. Guy called, quote, Liver-Eating Johnson.
It's a nickname, isn't it?
It certainly is.
let me guess. He loved kidneys.
This is actually like a bit of a revenge story. I'd love to see a film of this in a way. Basically, Crow warriors, the Indian tribe, the Crows, killed his wife and family. And then this guy dedicated his life to killing, scalping and eating the livers of every Crow tribe member he could find.
Wow.
He had 300 scalps.
It's a very specific mission as well. I take it he fried the liver and
I'd imagine so. When he cooked it, or he ate it
seasoned
raw.
it.
Yeah.
Why the livers?
I don't know.
I've heard that crows can pluck out the livers of certain animals.
Well, that's what it was. It was ironic.
Maybe they
then.
took his family's livers when they killed them.
The crows eat livers. Maybe that's why.
But still, greatest nickname ever, Liver-Eating Johnson. It's not bad, is it?
Fair play.
Yeah. I haven't gone too much into detail of this because it'll probably be an episode one day, but 1846, 1847, the Donner Party
Oh, yes.
resorted to cannibalism while snowbound in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Basically, they took the advice of a man who thought he knew a shortcut that didn't. And they set off too late, and they ended up stuck in the mountains, starving slowly to death under about sort of 8 to 10 foot of snow, something like that. It was like ridiculous. How anyone actually survived is beyond me. I remember.
This doner kebab's nice.
Oh!
Keeping it.
Remember, we're not in the days where a helicopter comes out to rescue you. It takes like 3 months for a rescue party to get to you. And then the next guys it set out are still another 3 months behind. It's, any of them survive is unreal. Then we get to the modern eras of the 1900s, and we'll start with Albert Fish, probably one day an episode on his
I'm
own.
aware of him.
A serial killer.
Sick fuck.
A massively sick fuck. Confessed to molesting over 400 children over 20 years. Is believed to have murdered 6 to 20 of them. His most infamous murder is that of Grace Budd in 1928, whose flesh he cut into strips and cooked with carrots, onion and bacon, and apparently this excited him sexually. He is a sick fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard the last podcast on the left did a couple of, I think it was more than one episode about him.
I think it's about 4. To be fair.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's kind of like one of the first sort of serial killer monsters of the sort of, quote unquote modern era, kind of thing. Famous ones anyway.
He came through the American sort of justice system as a child, where he was repeatedly abused and sodomised by guards.
Sadly, this is where it begins, isn't it?
And that's where it kind of ended up with him going full circle. The system at the time was terrible to justify his actions by any stretch of the imagination, but if that's what you're taught, that's what you continue, isn't it?
Well, yes.
1924, December 20th, German authorities uncovered human flesh along with a list of 40 people Karl Denker had previously killed and cannibalised. The more recent ones are Western Europe and America. And
what are you trying to say?
Die off a little bit in the more unexplored regions. I mean, alright, the one tribe was in the 50s, but these guys are doing it for pleasure rather than tradition.
Yeah, they're psychopaths, aren't they?
Oh, it's desperation. This one, the Siege of Leningrad, 1941 to 1944. Eyewitness accounts of cannibalism, including reports of people cutting off and eating their own flesh.
Fuck.
You've got to be pretty fucking hungry to do that, let's face it.
Wow.
I wouldn't do it, I'd rather starve to death.
Oh God, you don't know what your brain
Yeah, I mean, if you've got
starts to
like
do.
bit of frostbite on your toes, you'd be like, well, they can go first.
I suppose so. Yeah.
You know, fingers.
Yeah.
Bit of flesh off your thigh. Testicles.
No, I'm turning
Your
into a coin
granddad's.
purse.
You can't have to. But...
Post-Second World War, the Tokyo Tribunal collected numerous reports of Japanese troops that performed cannibalism on their own troops, enemy dead and Allied prisoners of war.
Fuck.
Apparently some Indian soldier testified to, like, literally for 100 days they'd take a guy out of the prisoner cages, kill him, eat him, because their own rations weren't getting through.
Fuck me.
October 1961, Papuan Aborigines in Papua New Guinea supposedly killed and ate Michael Rockefeller, who, yes, is a son of the Rockefellers. He was exploring in New Guinea.
Good. After something.
Somehow I thought that I'd get that response from you, pair. No, fucking rock capitalist.
I never said anything.
Yeah, but not after something bad happens to one of them fucking... Ben, what do you mean not about being a capitalist? It's about being a New World Order, fucking reptilian elite, alien agenda, all that shit, Bilderberg Group. Fucking hell, open your eyes.
I'm actually down with it. I couldn't give two fucks.
You know,
Capitalist
good.
cunt.
Glad. I hope he got eaten by lizard men.
Ooh, that would have been ironic. 1972 we'll go to. You'll know this one, Alive, the film. You must
yes.
know, Alive.
Yeah.
Based on true stories. isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. The survivors of the Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 was a rugby team on board, as well as the other passengers, resorted to cannibalism. They've been stranded since October the 13th, 1972. Rescue operators didn't get to them until December the 22nd. So, like 2 months, 3 months, the best part of 3 months. Get out. So this is the one of the guys who says describes the moment he resorted to cannibalism. 4 young men, freezing cold, starving and struggling to survive following a plane crash, stood over their dead friend armed with razor blades and broken glass. They cut their friend's clothes, then his body. I will never get the first incision 9 days after the crash, Robert Canessa recalls in his new book, I Had to Survive. We laid the thin strips of frozen flesh aside on a piece of sheet metal, he writes according to an adaptation in the Daily Mail. Each of us finally consumed our piece when we could bear to. Surrounded by death following the 1972 Andes plane crash, the 4 men made the decision to live. Each of us came to our own decision in our own time, Cassina writes, and once we had done so, it was irreversible. It was our final goodbye to innocence. It was Friday the 13th of October.
I'm looking for some.
Just a fucking bit. When a Uruguayan aircraft carrying the old Christians rugby team and their friends and family went down the mountains in Argentina near the border with Chile. After 2 months, 16 survivors were rescued and became the inspiration for numerous documentaries, movies and books, most notably the 1993 film Alive, which was based on the book by the same name.
Yeah, I've seen that film.
Yeah, I think I've seen that as well, actually. Cassino was a 19-year-old medical student and rugby player at the time of the crash. In his new book, which will be published March the 1st, he remembers the haunting moments. The one when the plane began to plummet and he held onto his seat with such strength that I tore off chunks of fabric in my bare hands. The one when an avalanche buried him and his friend started frantically digging handfuls of snow away from my mouth. And the one when they heard over their transistor radio the search for them had ended. But it seems the descent into cannibalism was the hardest to endure. Cassina writes, our common goal was to survive. What we lacked was food. We had long since run out of the meagre packings we'd found on the plane. Pickings, and there were no vegetation or animal life to be found. After just a few days we were feeling the sensation of our own bodies consume themselves just to remain alive. Before long we would become too weak to recover from starvation. We knew the answer, but it was too terrible to contemplate. The bodies of our friends and teammates preserved outside in the snow and ice contained vital, life-giving protein that could help us survive. but could we do it? For a long time we agonised. I went out in the snow and prayed to God for guidance. Without his consent, I felt I would be violating the memory of my friends, that I would be stealing their souls. Oof. We wondered whether we were going to mad, even to contemplate such a thing. Had we turned into brute savages, or was this the only sane thing to do? Truly, we were pushing the limits of our fear. And out of 45 on the plane, 27 survived. I suppose, in that scenario...
Yeah.
Still. I mean, the eating it bit, I think I could get over that and just be like, fuck it, alright. But it's the getting it. Getting the body, slice it a bit off. I mean, what do you do? Peel the skin off? And
She's got broken glass and just cut pieces off and strips off.
Especially taking the
They
thighs.
start from the backside and the thighs.
Yeah, the arse cheeks usually. Jeffrey Dahmer.
oh lord.
Between 1978 and 1991, Dahmer killed at least 17 young men and boys. Well, you say boys, slightly elite, underage.
17, 18, weren't they? Some of them
Yeah,
16,
mostly that age.
How old was he?
Oh God, probably Jeff is really in his 30s.
Was he a
He
fine young
wasn't that
cannibal?
old.
Oh!
What do you say?
Was he a fine young cannibal? Sorry.
You drive me crazy and I can't help myself.
They do sound like that, don't they?
Yeah. He cut up the thighs, biceps and internal organs of several of his victims, cut them and ate them, claiming they tasted like filet mignon, which is a prime cut of steak. Yeah, the cow.
Didn't he also try to create human living zombies?
Yes,
by
he
drilling
did.
holes in
Yeah,
heads and
drilling-
tipping chemicals in there.
That's
and
right,
things.
yeah. Dripping nitric acid in, I think.
He's not a mentalist.
No, he's trying to create a sex zombie.
He didn't want to fuck a dead body, like he wanted just like a zombie with no brain function anymore but was living, that he could just...
Like a living fuck doll.
Yeah, he tried to create it.
Yeah, because he liked hairless. That's why he went for the younger. And he wanted them hairless.
He's like an
Never
evil,
like
perverted
Filipino.
Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein, not Frankenstein's monster.
Indeed. He also he had It is though. The same as you saying Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein rather than Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, everyone would know what the fuck I meant if I said Frankenstein, wouldn't they? They'd think
I'm
of the
just
big green
correcting the
monster.
masses, Gaz. Fake news.
Kool-Aid.
Flavour aid.
The saying is Kool-Aid, so it don't matter.
Fat
We're not having this discussion again.
Alright.
Back to the cannibal.
He also had a little shrine set up in his apartment with skulls on it and thigh bones
No.
from his victims. Apparently a bucket of dongs. I know how true that is.
Bucket of dicks.
Yeah, apparently so. Under the sink.
I shouldn't laugh. It's just funny. The people searching that apartment. Sarge.
Now imagine
Sarge, you gotta get in here.
the realtor guy, after he's been arrested and that, and they've done the house and that, and they're looking in, showing some people around. You know, this is the kitchen, opens the doors, a bucket of dicks. Almost like, is that part of the deal?
I'll throw that in for free.
Yeah, Darwin will be an episode of his own one day. Probably a couple of episodes to be fair. Interesting character, to say the least.
Bucket of dicks. Bucket of dicks. I don't know why. I just want to sing it. It's just a funny thing to say. A bucket of dicks. I'm so high and childish. Sorry.
Do you know the reason he got away with it, by any chance? Yeah, Darwin, he got away with it for so long. 1978 to 1991.
Was it because he managed to avoid those pesky kids?
Yes, and the fact that he lived in an all-black apartment.
Oh, what?
He lived in an all-black apartment. He was the only white guy that lived in this apartment block.
I thought
And
you meant
because
the paint on the
The
walls.
police wouldn't go there.
The police were interested, basically. The smell, I mean, he got away with it once by, like, this young lad managed to escape in handcuffs, right? And he was drugged. He managed to get out. Dharma was usually drunk. He could only do this drunk. Couldn't do it sober. He was always blackout drunk when he did it. He got out, this young lad, in handcuffs, young Filipino boy, and found the police and said, "Lord, this guy's trying to kill me." Dharma got out there and said, "Oh, no, look, alright, we're having this gay relationship, keep on the down low, he's alright, come with me. And got him back in, and the police went, okay then, and the police put us a lover's tiff.
Fuck me.
Because they didn't care about the gays, they didn't care about the blacks.
That's it. Their primary purpose is to protect the wealth of white people.
Yeah. So Dom was a white guy. He was a bodybuilder as well.
Hang on, they're not protecting the wealth of the white people when they pull me over and give me fucking massive fines and make me go on courses which cost £88.
No, I mean the real wealthy people.
The choice is a £200 fine and 6 points on my licence, or pay £88 to go on a 5-hour long course that's patronising to death.
No,
that I've been on 3 times.
Yeah, but you're not up the level of white privilege yet.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, they take my fucking money.
If you lived in America in the 70s and 80s and you were a gay man living in a black community, you're the only white guy, the police would not be interested in the slightest, because who gives a shit? You're gay and you live in a black neighbourhood.
Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, hypothetically.
Yeah, pretty much. The last one I've got, February 2019. Albert Sanchez Gomez was arrested in Madrid, Spain, when he self-confessed to killing his 66-year-old mother, cut the body up and shared the meat with his dog.
Oh, Lord. Who ate who? Who ate who?
I've got some recent cannibal headlines in the news.
Go on
in
then.
the Mirror, there's actually a section called Cannibals. If you can
Wow.
believe it.
With Hannibal
What,
Lecter's
every
picture.
week or every day?
Yeah. It's
In
like,
the
you know,
actual-
those sections like lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's one for cannibals.
Wow.
So these are some of the recent headlines in this section. Cannibal who murdered and ate 3 people, regularly ate cats, dogs and birds.
Natural progression for him then.
Cannibal killer chopped up young mum, cooked and ate her and then dumped torso.
Eee.
Russian Sweeney Todd handed out sweets made with human flesh to local
Ooh.
children. White-haired granny ripper accused of abducting schoolgirl and severing her head.
Why is this always the elderly in this scenario?
Did my wife's killer turn cannibal and eat her remains? I wouldn't put it past him.
Wow.
Cannibal killer who ate victims' flesh has a new role inside Broadmoor as a cook.
Broadmoor is a mental prison, a mental asylum in this country. Is the most famous one, probably Broadmoor.
Costa cannibal killer back on UK streets after being freed from prison. Man used electric saw to cut open ex's skull before cooking brain and eating it.
Well, he's going to get that disease.
The cannibal killer who terrorised East London and even ate victims' brains with butter.
So is he.
Murdered dismembered prostitute before prepping her remains to make goulash.
Oi.
Girl 12 told classmates she ate human flesh after she vanished with cannibal. Pedo cannibal who microwaved man's head and ate brain found dead before trial.
Oh, what did the Clintons do him? Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Cannibal girl tortures brother 5 to death and eats penis in satanic ritual.
What?
Ooh.
Cannibal killer was convinced he was half man, half dog and had superpowers. Father and son beheaded party guest and ate his body in soup.
Wow.
Hannibal Lecter fan smashed pal's head in with hammer, then cut out liver and ate it. Cannibal's son cut dead mom into 1,000 tiny pieces and shared her with his dog.
That's probably that dude I was just on about.
Yeah. Cannibal 26 killed his mom, cut her up and put her body in lunchboxes.
Wow.
Is that Triple H?
That's an old Triple H.
John Benet Ramsey murder. Paedophile who confessed to killing 6-year-old wanted to eat her.
Well, that's a dodgy one for a start. We'll do John Benet Ramsey's case at some point, but...
Vampire cannibal who killed his mom, caught after 3 weeks on the run.
My God, there's at least 5 pages of these.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's just page 1.
And I didn't touch on some of the other serial killers who've done this, like Chikatento, the Russian-Ukrainian guy who killed and 8 people. The vampire of Los Angeles, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Richard Chase, who drank their blood to cure his own... A lot of these people are nuts. It does seem to fit in that...
That may be
Is that your professional opinion?
a
Yeah.
slight understatement. You think? Do you think some of these people might be nuts, Ben?
Yeah, I
These
do.
people that murder and then eat the flesh of the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're a bit nuts too.
That's my professional psychological opinion.
Fucking...
Well, that's a hell of a lot of news about cannibals.
It is,
Yeah.
and it says it was updated, this page, at 7:45 on the 29th of October 2019, so it's up to date. It's a lot of people eating a lot of bits of other people all around the world.
Yeah.
No one's safe. Never leave your apartment is my advice. If you're going to meet someone from online for the first time, meet in a very public place and make sure you tell someone where you are, or even take someone with you.
Yeah.
Take something stabby.
Are you suggesting knife hands again?
No, alright, I just maybe put a knife in your handbag. Something.
Oh, you
At
carry
least a
that
rape
around.
alarm. At least a rape alarm.
Or a mace. Not a can of mace, a mace.
A mace would be pretty cool. Or a warhammer.
One of them
Or a hammer.
ninja things we discussed last week, which is like a massive hook with a ball and chain thing on it. So you can
Yeah.
cane people's heads in from a distance, then get up close and fucking gut them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Don't
what
eat
it's-
them though.
Don't eat them though. No. Because you're the one trying to be eaten, aren't you?
Mm.
Well, not trying to be eaten, the
I
guy's
don't
trying to eat.
Yeah, don't eat me.
Yeah. So, let's end on a conspiracy. Because we love a conspiracy. Is the Queen of England a cannibal?
I don't know, Ben.
Is she? Britain's royal family is recognised throughout the world, and its matriarch, Queen Elizabeth II, is incredibly popular. She has reigned longer than any other living monarch, having ruled for 65 years, and in that time she's outlasted 13 prime ministers and 12 US presidents. She's travelled to over 1 million miles on official visits to 106 countries.
Yeah, we pay for that every time.
We certainly do. At the age of 91, she still conducts 330 official engagements a year. Her longevity and vitality amazed those who met her even 40 years ago in 1973. Cultural philosopher Hubert Humdinger published an article describing how she was packed with more energy than the sun. He explained that she maintains her remarkable vibrancy through a dark habit. And he says, there is an immense amount of spiritual energy in human muscle.
But if she's a lizard, then she's a cannibal. She eats people.
She's half a
valid
cannibal
point.
because they're hybrids. Aren't they? I
The
don't know.
half-bloods, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I can't really remember the deets of it.
Yeah. He says, and I quote, "She must eat human flesh to be so vivacious." Humdinger is not alone in his claims. Financial analyst Jim Willey believes the Queen is a child-killing Satanist.
I was supposed to believe fucking Humdinger and Willie.
Yes, you are. His claims chime with several separate reports about dozens of school children going missing in Canada each time the Queen makes a state visit.
I have heard about this.
Okay.
William Coombs claims to have witnessed the Queen kidnap 10 children from his residential Catholic school in 1964.
A lot of kids did go missing in Canada.
At that time.
Yep. For paedophilic purposes.
Whoa.
Whether it was a queen or not
Well,
is another matter.
another report comes from an anonymous soldier on duty in the Queen's home, Windsor Castle. In the 1970s, he says he found a secret freezer hidden in the castle kitchens. When he opened it, he was confronted with the sickening sight of human body parts, arms, legs, and other various pieces. Conspiracy theorists say this is proof positive that Queen Elizabeth II, her husband Prince Philip, and perhaps the entire royal family consume people in order to prolong their own existence beyond the natural limits of the human body. Archaeological evidence suggests humans have practiced cannibalism for tens of thousands of years. So that's pretty much the evidence for that.
Evidence.
Well, I've got another article here.
Okay?
British royals used to be cannibals dining on human flesh.
Ah,
From the Metro. According to a new book on medical cannibalism written by University of Durham academic Dr. Richard Sugg, well-off and well-educated Brits used to eat human flesh, blood and bones as medicine. Dr. Sugg suggests one cure for nosebleeds used by the upper class was moss taken from the skulls of dead soldiers.
Jesus.
One thing we are rarely taught at school, yet is evidence in literacy and historic texts of the time, is this. James I refused corpse medicine, Charles II made his own corpse medicine, and Charles I was made into corpse medicine.
Wow. She was the head of a king.
Yeah, Charles II wasn't the only royal to enjoy a feast of human flesh either. Queen Mary and William III were said to be in the act too. So,
A sort of lesser form of that, in a way, is that after the Battle of Waterloo, the squaddies, the soldiers who were victorious in the field, the Brits, would go around and they'd find a corpse with some nice teeth, and they would take those teeth. A lot of them used to carry pliers with them. And those teeth are then made into false teeth for people back in Britain.
Wow.
So you could get like a few pence a tooth, but hey, it's a battlefield, there's fucking 30,000 dead guys out there. Get out there, find some with decent teeth,
of course,
pop the teeth out, put them in your
used to
pouch,
do,
send them
didn't
back to London.
battle's over. They used to go and
Well, you'd
rob
rob
the
the
corpses.
pockets, you'd loot the corpses, everything. Got a ring on his finger, we'll have that finger, take the fucking ring off, job's a good one.
Waterloo. Eat some people, then do a poo. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's my contribution.
So let's end the cannibalism on some cannibalism facts.
Facts.
Cannibalism facts.
Cannibal
So-
facts.
Cannibal facts.
Everybody loves some cannibal facts.
So, how does human meat taste? Ask the cannibals. Issei Sangawana, a cannibal from Japan, says that it's gamey and odourless. Armin Maides, a cannibal from Germany, and that's the dude who cut that dude's cock off, says pretty much like pork, but slightly more stronger and bitter. Cannibals from Polynesia say that human meat tastes like pork. Got pork on Sunday. That's put me off. The taste of human flesh, however, depends on a number of factors, such as gender, age, the younger the victim, the more tender the meat is, the part of the body eaten, and the method of cooking used. And do watch Hannibal, if you have the chance. Mads Mikkelsen plays Dr. Lecter. It's alright.
Feeds that guy's own brain.
Yeah, well, I was in, that was Anthony Hopkins in Hannibal Returns, I think. The second
That's
one.
not what
anyway,
it was
one-
called, though, is it?
One after Silence of the Lambs. Lecter. Was it called Lecter?
I think it was just called Hannibal.
I can't even called Hannibal, actually. Yeah. You're right,
It was a film, wasn't it, on the series?
Yeah. Yeah, but Hannibal is a series as well.
I've seen that as well.
That's not bad. Mads Mikkelsen does a good job in that, to be fair.
I only watched the first season. I don't know if they did any more.
Oh yeah, there's like 4.
I only
It
watched
goes right up to Silence of the Lambs, and then because Fox bitched and moaned, they said they couldn't go any further with it. Basically.
Got you.
So, endocannibalism. Oh, so multiple types of cannibalism available. All have different definition, but eventually all those means sampling long pig, which is what the cannibals nickname human meat.
Long pig.
The most popular forms are
There's a band called Long
That's my
Pig.
porn name.
That's good, I like that.
Yeah. There is a band called Long Pig, isn't there?
They were named after me. Long pig! You got a giant dick, we call him Long Pig.
Mine's a Snatch Master.
I thought yours would have been cock gobbling because you actually got a penis
That
in
your
another dimension.
screen name's Snatchmaster 69. No wonder you're not getting no bites on Tinder. It's your profile pic, you holding up your driver's license and it says Snatchmaster. Oh, just call me McLovin.
McLovin,
Yeah.
yeah.
Loving, yeah.
I'm the Snatch Master. The Snatch Master.
The Snatch
The
Master.
Snatchmaster.
Does that mean
That's Mr. the Snatchmaster to you.
does that mean I have to call you Mr. the Snatch Master next week when I introduce you?
Yes, officer, my name is the Snatchmaster. And you will call it me.
Endocannibalism simply referred to what people of the Foray tribe practiced.
Is it eating arseholes?
No.
End?
Yeah, no, they used to eat the brain.
Uh-oh.
You know, the
Oh,
Foray
yeah.
people.
Endo means inside, doesn't it?
Yeah, by definition, it means
Endoskeleton.
eating the dead people with the belief the souls of the deceased can live on closely to their living family. So you're eating someone to put them inside you.
Yep.
I would say to one of them, it's easier if I just fuck you.
What,
You
your
know-
granny?
It's better than eating her, isn't it? Alright then, there you go. If you're in the tribe, you're going to get killed if you don't do as, you've got to make a choice. You either shag granny.
What a horrible fucking choice.
Exactly. That's why I'm putting it to you. You either shag your granny or you kill her, butcher her, and eat her.
Can I choose the third option? It's a bullet in the back of the head.
No, they ain't got guns out there. They'll hack you to death.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like blunt iron or even stone blades. Who knows? I don't know what they've got.
Get your cock out. Get your cock out. I'm
not
fucking
one.
granny.
Looks like you're eating her brains then.
Doesn't it? Or eat her brains, like
Yeah.
giving that fucking disease.
God's honest truth. Give me the choice. I'm
They
gonna
don't
bang
know
her.
that.
I'm definitely gonna bang her over killing her and eating her. It's
I
way
think
easier.
she's dead already at this point though when
Oh,
they're
shit.
doing the eating.
Oh. Okay.
So they're like taking the top of the skull off, cooking the brain.
I'm still gonna choose shagging the dead body. I think over. No, seriously, over butchering it. If I'm gonna butcher it
And then eat it.
and then cook it and eat it,
I don't know if you do the butchering or not. We don't know that.
I'll
But
just
it's-
wipe
no,
myself
it's
off over her
cultural.
tits and then it's done. That might be I think after.
All right, Sam.
What
calm down.
episode is it? What episode is it? What number is this?
I don't know.
100 and something.
Yeah.
I've finally hit my lowest. That's the darkest thing I've said. I think.
There's no exo
If I was
cannibalism.
being forced, I'm saying, by like one of these fucking mental
But it's
tribes.
cultural. You've grown up in that. It's nothing for you.
I'd eat a snatch.
Well, you are the snatch master.
The death snatch master. That's fine. It'll be cold, but put it by the fire. Anyway, come on. Right.
Endocannibalism.
We've hit a new low.
Done that one. Exo now.
Oh yeah, so exocannibalism means eating others in order to get hold of their life forces and powers. For example, soldiers eating the meat and organs of their dead enemies to get their powers. Usually selective body parts are eaten in this form of cannibalism. So practice of exocannibalism usually target the following organs. The brain, for getting the knowledge of their enemies. The heart, for getting the power and the courage of their enemies. So they're eating your heart, they respect you at least.
I was going to say, but your enemies are dead, so why do you want their powers?
Well, it's the Highlander, isn't
Yeah. Get more powerful.
it? Yeah.
That's what they
Even
call it.
even someone's shit is a little bit of power.
I suppose.
Yeah. And the legs for getting the speed of their enemies. However, the legs are only eaten if their fallen victim was a fast runner. Well, obviously not that fucking fast, otherwise he'd got away, wouldn't he?
No, can't fault that.
Involuntary auto-cannibalism
What
can
the
be
fuck?
extremely sinister as well. And this happens when a person is being forced to eat his or her own muscles or other body parts. An example occurred in 1934 when a black man named Claude Neal of Florida was captured by 2,000 Southerners of white skin.
Fuck you.
These 2,000 men removed the testicles of Neal and forced him to eat them. Later, they then skinned Neal alive and burned him.
Lovely.
Yeah. Europeans in the Middle Ages used to think that human fat was capable of successfully treating rheumatism and arthritis, also healing wounds. Human blood can treat conditions like epilepsy and other forms of spastic conditions. Well, this isn't very politically correct, Mike. And flesh of Egyptian mummies was thought to have healing power against several ailments.
Or blame factslegend.org, not me.
Bunch of spastics.
Female virgins and young men hung to death,
Hanged.
were highly priced, most sought after. In case of female virgins, the most sought after prize was blood from their body and also their menstrual blood. Oof. Young men hanged to death were prized because many men had posthumous erections after death. Erection was viewed as strength and virility. That's why flesh from these dead young men was highly prized and sought after.
You know, some people think the death erection is because you get to fuck an angel right as you die.
Really? Nothing to do with blood pressure and all that then?
No, it's angels.
What about a hand job from a demon?
Ooh. Female one. Demons can be girls, can't they?
They can.
Well, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
A fluid demon. What have we talked about this table, Ben?
I just don't want to put it.
Even that lightly, I just heard that.
Oh. Alright. Fucking hell. Right, where are we? In China, there was a practice known as kokan and koku. It was a cannibalistic ritual in which daughters and sons would willingly donate their body parts to their parents who were sick. It is believed that these parents would eat those body parts and become healthy. It was a common practice for daughters and sons to donate their livers. Miao Chuang was a princess who gave away both her hands to her father who was ill. After this, she was defiled.
Fucking hell.
Oh, sorry, no, deified.
Oh, yeah.
Big difference. A big difference.
Well, that's a bit harsh. Just chopped your own fucking hands off for a dad and then stayed to file it.
No,
Did what to her?
Deified.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Deified. You defiled her. Oh no! It's quite the opposite. What is it with livers? Is there something we're missing? Is there some medical benefit?
I think it's the
You eat animal liver, don't you? Not you personally, but
No, I
people
don't
do.
know.
I have
I
eaten
do.
liver and onions.
I couldn't do.
I don't
liver.
do liver.
It looks wrong to me. It just doesn't look very
It's
nice.
a lot of taste.
Not too bad.
Strange consistency.
I don't
Steak
like-
and kidney pie.
I eat steak
No, I'd
and
eat that.
pie,
So there's little chunks of it.
but there's only it's only tiny chunks. You don't.
I
You
don't
eat,
think
sometimes
about
if
it.
they're bigger chunks, you pick them out, can you? Yeah.
Just try liver and onions. It's nice.
I don't like it. I've tried it once, never
It's a
again.
bit dry, but
I don't do I don't know onions either. I
that's
don't
why you need
really.
a bit of onion and sauce.
No, onions fan.
Oh, I like onions.
You could. They'd be if they took my liver, some cannibal. Oh, they'd regret it.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
Pickled. It
Yeah.
They would be like eating a fucking sock.
Maybe because the liver that it's
You know, like a sock that's been wet and has then dried on the radiator and it's like solid like
Yeah.
a board. That's my liver.
I think mine's far
Just big
behind it,
dust in
all
their
fairness.
mouth.
Any more cannibal facts?
Yeah. 4 19th century missionaries were killed, cooked and eaten by Papua New Guinea's Tolai tribe. Tali, who was the warrior chief of the tribe, ordered the killings. The Tolai tribe finally accepted the killings and apologised for them in 2007. Ah,
How good of them.
yeah. And today, cannibalism is spreading at a very fast rate in the form of basically eating the placenta of your child with the benefit of health benefits. It's cannibalism, technically.
I reckon that's placentophagy.
Probably.
Don't
Yeah.
don't do that.
Don't do that. Nah.
I mean, I'm not a scientist. It just sounds gross.
People
I
do
don't
it though.
think-
They cook
I-
it and eat it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any evidence. That
It's
beneficial.
apparently full of iron, so the mother should eat it. You're like, oh, all right. Well, I wouldn't go for that myself.
Not for me.
All right, let's end. So cannibalism
Right, some cannibalism facts.
was interesting, informative,
Yes.
disgusting.
I'm not going to eat anyone.
It's a dark side of the human nature. But
I was in a survival situation.
then again, it is nature, isn't it? Like you
Yeah.
say, there's 1,500
Species is
species that do it.
If I was in the situation of the alive people, I would have climbed up one of those trees to give me something to focus on. so I
What
could
trees?
No, the
You know,
mountains.
mountain range is nothing but snow and mountain.
There was a tree, wasn't there,
No.
in the movie?
No.
Well, I'm going to continue anyway.
Perhaps it was the magic money tree.
Listen to me.
No, maybe it was.
Listen to me. Better than... Cause just freezing to death or starving to death is a fucking bitch way to go out. So I'm going to climb a tree and give me something to focus on. Right to the top. One of these big redwoods that are there in my fantasy.
Right.
And I'll just dive off the top of it head first.
Well, it's to be warm. You can eat him. Me and Mike can just eat your.
You can do what you want to me once I'm fucking dead. You can come on my tits if you want.
Mike, your job. That's your job.
I'm gonna cock.
I will.
If this is someone's first episode, I'm going to be so fucking confused. That's probably why we don't get many. No, I'm joking.
We have long-running jokes.
We
don't
do alright.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, let's finish with some facts because I'm very high.
Right. Weird news
news,
first.
Oh yeah.
So let's finish on some weird news and some fucked up facts.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
First one, man saves his nail clippings for a year and then turns them into an engagement ring. Wow. When it comes to engagement rings, we know that not everyone will be able to afford a real diamond, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Instead of splashing the cash, some couples decide to buy cheaper ones or craft unique rings themselves out of sentimental items for a low-budget alternative. My missus rings, well, see, my missus, I haven't got a missus. I used to give her an onion ring. Marry me, this is an onion ring. Delicious and binding.
Isn't that what Homer does?
Yes.
You're modelling yourself.
Does look a bit like him.
Yeah, I'm fucking getting shredded, man.
Remember, was it last week when he basically aggressively forced me to agree with you that you're a golden god?
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah. That's the one.
Remember also last week at the start, didn't we discuss delusions of grandeur?
Yeah.
I think that comes into it too. Well,
I work
again, back to the Simpsons.
I work out like 4 times a week, mate. I'm fucking getting shredded.
Okay, but there's levels of shredding. It's still a bit like Homer Simpson when he looks in the mirror and then his reflection is like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens actually when I tense. It all comes up. Look quite buff. And what I need is one of them clamps he had on his back. He pulls the fat round and clamped it in position. He's still there like ripped.
Fat clamps.
Fat clamps? That's what I need. Fat clamps.
You're looking very healthy, well done. But Golden God is,
Golden God.
yeah, pushing it.
Where was I? While a lot of people have no qualms of being proposed to with a homemade trinket, it seems only one thing many people would really hate to receive. Let it be known that people of social media, and surely all sane people out there, draw the line in engagement rings made from a man's fingernail clippings. Yes, it seems one man really spent an entire year collecting his nail clippings to turn into a, quote, diamond ring. The whole process was shared on Twitter in a disturbing viral video by SCMP News. The South China Morning Post reported a Japanese man who creates videos on YouTube under the name Kiwami Japan collected his fingernail clippings for 365 days and filmed the process of them being turned into a piece of jewellery. Once he collected a sufficient amount of clippings, the man started putting them into a blender. However, this didn't give them the desired consistency, so he then ground them into a very fine powder for mixing water in a pan.
Oh, fucking effort, innit?
Yeah, you just got a gold one, really. The fourth step saw him compress the nail powder and water mixture and put it in an oven for 90 minutes. What came out of the oven that day can only be described as looking like a lump of dark clay. The man took the mixture, put it into a diamond-shaped mould before inserting it into a silver ring, which he'd also made himself. When all was done, the finished product was a ring with a dull black stone, which thankfully looked nothing like fingernails. It's been watched 189,000 times and had hundreds of likes and shares. Look at that, boys. Bloke who makes his fucking diamond ring out of fingernails gets more fucking shares and likes than we do. Step your game up, people. Not you guys, I mean like the listeners.
Oh, just the things people will do to get some likes.
Yeah. Shocking, isn't it?
Mm.
You'll love the one we got for you. In that scenario. Right, Mike, what you got?
People who work longer hours are far more likely to go bald.
I can point this out, it's completely untrue because I only ever work as little as I have to.
Working long hours may be beneficial for your bank account, but it could be bad news for your hair. A new study has discovered career success may come at a price after finding that people who work more than 52 hours a week are twice as likely to go bald.
I've never done that.
Research into the links between longer working hours and hair loss has taken results from 13,000 men in South Korea, where it's commonplace to far exceed 40 hours at work each week. The stress that comes with working longer hours can cause a hormonal change in the scalp and inhibit the growth of hair follicles, as reported by Lad Bible.
Well, what a reputable source they are.
Previous research has also shown that stress causes our immune system to attack hair follicles. The people behind the study are now urging employers to be more considerate with hours their workers are allowed to put in, arguing that not only can it lead to hair loss, but also a string of other negative side effects. Vote Labour. They want to take the working hour down to 32.
£10 an hour minimum wage.
And all you virile men can keep your hair.
I'm still virile.
You're too late for you.
I'm virile as fuck and still balding. So there was a thing. These other bald men were more virile.
Okay.
Because we're so pumped for testosterone.
Here he is again. Saviour of the human race.
Golden God. Jesus.
It's becoming Trump more and more each day.
Oh!
Nobody's more ripped than me. Nobody.
Not saying, no. I'm not saying that for a start. The
Hang on, you just said you were a golden god.
I'm a golden God.
I didn't say that till the other week.
What's
Moving
next?
on.
This is for you.
Oh, I have vaguely been aware of this week. Wellness fanatics are butt-chugging sunlight in order to acquire energy. Last year we thought we'd hit peak wellness guru when a proponent of the paleo diet told hundreds of thousands of followers that staring into sun is one of the, quote, best forms of free medicine. Rather than something that could make you go blind, and Instagram influencers were advocating the breatharian diet. But we were wrong. Peak wellness culture, as a new viral Instagram post has informed us, is butt-chugging sunlight in order to gain energy. An Instagrammer who goes by the name Metaphysical Megan describes herself as an ascension way shower, mermaid mystic, healer, teacher, and reverse aging adept, I don't know, caused a stir on the internet when she uploaded a post of herself stretching naked in the fucking sunlight in a pose reminiscent of a particularly stressful gynecological exam that took place on some sort of nature trail. Apparently she was practicing the ancient art of perineum sunning. For the past few weeks, I have included sunning my bum and yoni into my daily rising routine, she explained in the post, although we'd argue that her reasons raise many more fairly urgent questions than answers. Many of you have been asking about the benefits of this practice. 30 seconds of sunlight on your butthole is the equivalent of a full day of sunlight with your clothes on.
Yeah, makes sense.
She's claiming that it's an ancient Taoist practice that has been around for a while. She listed benefits she has already personally experienced, including energy surges, better sleep, better connection to her sexual energy, more creativity, and, quote, attracting soul tribe and people who are on the same frequency and wavelength as me.
You can hear you getting more pissed off as you read it. It's fantastic.
On a list of extraordinary claims that require extraordinary evidence, quote, the butthole absorbs creativity from the sun, is up there with the Indian Army claiming to find evidence of the Yeti.
Well, it's pretty true then, isn't it?
People out there, thankfully, are not entirely convinced. In a follow-up post titled Perineum Sunning Part 2, she made further claims including, it brings in prana or solar energy from the sun into the organs within the body, which strengthens the organs. It gives you better focus and mental stimulation. It regulates hormone function in the sex organs. It prevents against the leakage of chi or life force energy from the body. This in turn sustains health and longevity of the physical body.
When she says chi, does that mean the ability to turn my fist into an iron fist when I centre my chi?
That's
And then I can punch through anything.
That's the power of Iron Fist.
Oh, that was chi.
Allegedly.
So he centred his chi.
Well, that's like the your energy flows through your body.
Yeah, but if it does Iron Fist sun his butthole?
He doesn't. No,
Or did he at some point? To
possibly.
centre his chi?
Possibly. Anyway, yeah, they're fucking mental, aren't they, these people? I got nothing useful to say about that. That was the news.
Does it triggered you a little bit?
Not really.
No, just no, that's a shame. I was hoping I'd get more of a response.
I'm not that drunk this week, I'm just stoned.
Yeah.
Fucked up facts then.
Let's finish with the fucked up facts.
Let's have the jingle, boys.
Facts. Fucked up facts.
Facts.
How slow your reaction.
Pretty stoned.
Gus hasn't shared his weed tonight.
Facts. Fucked up facts.
Says he's
Because I've got a cold, you
Says he's
fucker.
ill.
Would you like some snot?
Nah. Not your kids.
Come on, let's hurry up. Let's do some facts. Fucked up
Right,
facts.
having children does make you happier,
Right.
but only once they've moved out the house.
Gaz?
Well, yeah.
In the early 20th century, a psychologist devised the term Sonntagsslea for the depression one feels on Sunday before the week begins.
I can accept that, yeah. I can go with that, yeah.
Every year, Katmai National Park and Preserves crowns a Fat Bear of the Year.
Oh.
This year's winner was Bear 435, named Holly.
Oh.
A former park ranger notes that Holly was single this summer and able to devote all her energy towards herself.
So she just put her pyjamas on, watched Netflix and ate ice cream or something? Fair play to her.
The average American hasn't made a new friend in 5 years.
Wow, that's bad.
We'll be your friends, Americans.
Because you're all obnoxious pricks.
Mind
That's a
you,
joke.
Have you
It's
made
a
a new
joke.
friend?
I love
Have you made a new friend in the last 5 years?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, acquaintances, I suppose. Say hello to them. From across the street.
When you haven't got to speak to them. Yeah, me too. I just don't want to see old friends as well, though, to be fair.
Right.
French nobleman Marquis de Favre was presented with his death warrant before his hanging.
Ooh.
His reported last words upon reading it were, "I see that you have made 3 spelling mistakes."
Cool as a fucking cucumber. What is this, titanium balls? Are they hanging? No, it ain't them.
Typical grammar Nazi. Annoying prick, even when he's about to be hung.
I like that. Like, I see you made 3 spelling mistakes here. Yeah, well, I was going to say... Okay.
Oh shit, from the start.
You're better educated these cunts, you know it's coming anyway. You're probably locked up in jail at the time as it is.
Yeah.
You don't
You guys-
mock them.
You guys will like this one. Turkey has a province, a city, and a river, all called Batman.
I do
Fantastic.
like that.
Yeah, me too.
By the rivers of Batman. Sorry.
Actually, you had that Turkish player on Football Manager that was called Batman.
I did.
Everything goes back to Football Manager, doesn't
That's
it?
the way it is.
Astronomer
Okay.
Tycho Brahe, 1546 to 1601, kept a pet moose which died after drinking too much beer and falling downstairs.
Oh, man.
Bad pet.
Yeah, I know a bit about him. He also had a gold nose
Yeah, he did, yeah. Oh, yeah, this guy.
because he lost during a duel.
Yeah, he lost his nose during the
Sorry,
duel.
man.
So,
QI, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
And
a
did he have
killer.
a dwarf sidekick?
He did. He used to have dwarves that used to, you know, carry the food around it.
Not as good as
Didn't
a
he have one who
Wookiee,
was
is it?
his like personal
Oh,
astronomer?
he could have been, yeah, something like
He
that.
had a dwarf sidekick who was personal astronomer.
Yeah.
Guy's a legend. Might be an episode one day. Who knows?
Roald Dahl had a sort of Viking funeral. He was buried with some burgundy wine, chocolate, HB pencils, and his snooker cues.
Oh, nice. Is that a snake?
Sorry, it's me being very unprofessional.
An opening a bottle of high fat, high sugar content Coca-Cola?
Yes.
That's terrible for you.
Yes, it is. Clean toilets with this
I
shit.
knew a bird that drank 2 bottles of them a night.
Do the teeth fall out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't drink 2 at night.
Just the one.
Just this one, 2 night.
Go on, Mike.
Taking a hot bath for an hour burns as many calories as going for a half-an-hour walk.
Fantastic. I always fall asleep in the bath.
A study from the University of Warwick has determined that Britons are genetically predisposed to be grumpy.
That's my excuse.
Yep, I'll go for that. All we do is moan at the weather, so yeah.
There was at least one black samurai warrior.
Sweet.
Yasuke arrived in Japan in 1579 with an Italian Jesuit and chose to stay. He later served as samurai and as the weapon bearer of Oda Nobunaga, one of the unifiers of Japan.
That's pretty sweet. Black Samurai. There's a film called that anyway, isn't there?
There is. Afro Samurai.
Afro Samurai. You'd like to think you had an afro. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. I guess.
Another British fact here. British adults spend an average 1 hour and 52 minutes of each day in a bad mood.
9 hours.
That'd be a good day for me.
Yeah, an hour and 52 minutes. I'll take that.
And we'll end on psychopaths.
Okay.
Cannibalism. People with psychopathic traits are more likely to be fans of Backstreet's No Diggity.
You love that song, don't you, Ben?
Hang on.
He does?
No diggity. No, how does it go?
Yeah, that's it,
man.
yeah.
Got to bag it up.
Yeah, I do know that song.
I like the way you work it.
Yeah.
No diggity. You got to bag it
I
up.
do like that song, yeah.
Oh, shit. Dun, dun,
This
dun.
confirms what we already knew.
And you're a psychopath, so...
So yeah, that's been Cannibalism and Fucked Up Facts. Thanks for listening. I've been Ben. Don't drink the Favour Aid. Don't join a cult, and No Diggity is one of the finest songs ever written.
I'm Gaz. You might hear from me next week. I don't know. Depends if I wake up in a bath full of ice with my kidney missing.
Your kidney's no good. I'm not taking any organs from you.
We did discuss,
Jesus, they're all fucked.
We did discuss that earlier. Hey, there's one organ that's still pretty fine. It's not my brain.
Well, you're eating.
What am I doing? I'm saying goodbye. My name is Gaz. Goodbye.
I think. I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
Free Biff Tannen, is that what you're going to say?
Free Biff Tannen.
Free Biff
Yeah, we got
Tannen.
that.
Join my cult. Whatever.
Shit.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.